Whereas if you put the cedar shingles on there, you wouldn't have to, right?
No,
Yeah.
but it's still just $5 to $6 a square
Okay.
foot to take the plywood on.
Anyway, the pictures were really nice. I just would like to shorten it up. Okay. No offense.
Just leave it with board.
So,
Can I ask you something? I hate to be the only dummy in the crowd, but I can't read what this means. Is each one considered for the whole job? Are each one of these is
except for the ones that aren't filled in, yes. The ones that aren't filled in, they didn't give us a complete quote. All the rest of them, yes, it's for the complete job. Yeah, so, and that's the reason why we went and got 8 quotes. We could even get more if time allows. But you can start to see,
Can we have your attention?
you can see that we're starting to get a number of contractors in that $600,000 to $700,000 price range. So that's the second part of this process of 3 parts that we have to undertake. The second part is to get as many contractors as we can down into that narrower range. And then once we know what that range is, the Strata Council, in conjunction with the property management, can set a budget. And that's what will be presented at your SPM for you to vote on. And your Strata Council will give you more of those details later. The third thing that we have to do, as we narrow the focus down, is to try and select the best bang for the buck, if you will, so give you the best roofing system for that same amount of money. And to look at that, we have to do another table which compares specifically warranties, because really it's the warranty that proves out the longevity of your roof system and any future potential costs. So we look very closely at the warranty packages, and then that helps us to finally make a choice. There are other factors, of course, the contractor, how quickly you can do it, whether or not the strata wants to pay for it all right away, a number of other mitigating factors, but those are the main issues. It's not just about picking the contractor with the lowest price.
Any other questions at this time? Grant, from use the microphone, please.
I know some are concerned about having an engineer. Was there any benefits for us using an engineer?
My answer for that is that if you want to design a building or redesign your roofs, by all means, hire an engineer, hire an architect. I don't think that you are redesigning, I think that you're re-roofing. And so you can go ahead and hire an engineer and you'll start paying that cost immediately. I do know of other stratas where they've undertaken those measures. And I would say that generally speaking, I can say without hesitation, those projects cost more. I don't think it makes sense for me or an engineer to redesign a roof system when the manufacturers have been doing it for 40 years, and they will offer you, component by component, a roof system that they feel confident providing a 20-year, 40-year warranty on. I don't see where we need to step in and design that configuration. The contractors are all certified by the manufacturers to install their specific roof system. So if you choose a GAF system, GAF, they're GAF certified. If you choose a CertaDeed system, they're CertaDeed certified. That validates the warranty. So there's really no room in there for somebody to step in and say, okay, I want you to install this product this way. They already have their way of doing it, and it's the correct way as far as they're concerned, because that's why they're willing to put that warranty on. So I don't think there's really any room for an engineer to step in. You may hire an engineer to be guaranteed that supervision of project is adequate to your needs. You can certainly choose to do that. I've shown to the Strata Council and through my references that I know how to do that. I know engineering firms know how to do that, and I know that you pay a lot more to have an engineering firm
was just going to say, as Don was mentioning earlier, the one improvement we will be making is not a design improvement. It is a water egress improvement, where in a lot of cases you'll see that the gutter comes right across the existing roof system and just drains right onto that roof system. That's actually causes a lot of harm to the roof as a whole in that area. So that's one redesign where the gutter will now be brought across. That's fine, we have it brought across, but it'll drain right into the gutter below. It will not actually spill onto the roof surface.
The point that Jen makes about that, just before we answer the two questions, is actually speaks to why you don't necessarily need an engineer either. The roofing contractor will actually ask you to put those extenders on your downspouts because it invalidates the warranty if you don't.
Diane, can you come use the microphone, please? Sorry, it's caught up.
You mentioned about the gutters, that we don't have to replace them, but 3/4 of them are leaking, especially in the seams.
So that's lap and gutter seal, which if they install new gutters, they would have to do anyways. You have continuous gutters, you don't have any seams, and they're leaking at the corners because they're older. So you really just need to install lap and gutter seal, which if you had your gutters all reinstalled, they would have to do anyways.
Okay, so is that improvement going to be in the price?
I've kept it out of that price so that we can look at apples and apples.
Okay.
So that comparison table, except for one price where I couldn't take his price for gutters, which he did include, out. I took everyone else's price out, so it was just about roofing. But the Strata Council will look at all of the other prices for gutters and skylights, by the way,
Okay.
and make a decision on whether or not they want to fund those projects at that time. We can pull them out because they're not necessarily problematic. The gutters are leaking, but you could just seal them. So we can pull them out and put that expense off into the future and just deal with the expense of re-roofing at this time, or if the Strata has enough money under a special assessment or special levy to pay for everything, we can just do it all at once. So we're investigating pricing, but the decision to do everything all at once will be made by your council.
We've looked at 4 different gutter companies already, so we will be talking with them.
So it will be one assessment.
Well, that's, if that is what the owners want, and if that is what the owners vote on, yes, it will be.
So you'll have that presented to us as a SGM?
I would think we would want that at the SGM as separate resolutions to go under completion, if I understand the owners properly.
Your budget would probably be something in the order of $50,000 for gutters, gutter replacement, and I think about $25,000 for skylight replacement. So it would add $75,000 to your project to do them all at once.
We have 10, if you read the thing, we have 10 skylights in the apartment, individual ones, and we have 2 that are bank of 5. The ones that are a bank of 5 have to be engineered, and that's done by a special company that sells them. They have an engineer that works for them, because technically those skylights are no longer allowed, but because they're already in, we have them. But to replace them, they would be changed, and John explained they'd be angled so that the water doesn't sit on them. Bruce, can you, Harvey, want to use the microphone and Bruce?
I don't live in the apartment, but the flat roof, are they going back to a tar and gravel roof?
It's one,
as the original?
It's one option that we're considering,
Yeah.
because we have that option.
Yeah.
Just looking at your price list here, under Flynn, it says 1.262 million.
I would shoot right to the HST number because you got to pay that too. So 1.4.
1.4, okay. And then you look at SPR, it's 669, half as much. And it looks like their specs are better. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Would you say they're the winner so far?
They're a contender. Their flat roof system is a little different, so there's a couple of things that have to be mitigated, but I have worked with SPR in the past. They certainly are a close contender, yes.
And it is possible, depending on, we may split the contract between the flat roof and the apartment. If one company does the flat roof that the other company doesn't do, and we want them on this, Don has said that it is possible to split it.
That would make sense.
Especially if you
Get
get
the best
better
for both.
value.
Yeah.
The best for both, right?
Yeah.
Sure, that would make nothing but sense. What was the price that Crosby sort of gave us?
The 1.2.
1.2. So were they working in our best interest as a strata then? If we can actually come up with a price of 670,000?
That's where you did it decide.
Yeah.
Well,
they did a preliminary.
anybody got an extra 600,000 in their pocket?
They were just looking, Harvey, they were just looking for like an overall budget picture.
Yeah, well-
Because we also need to, as a strata corporation, as neighbors, take into account the fact that we might have to put a little extra in the budget for contingency, because we might find a few extra plywood sheets that need to be replaced that, you know, the contractor didn't anticipate and wasn't going to include in the price. There's fascia boards here and there that are going to need to be replaced that would be extra, so
So you think Crosby was acting in the best interest of the strata
I
then?
think they were doing what they could at the
$600,000 for
point,
a couple extra
because
pieces of
they
wood?
realized from the designer saying that things needed to get done
Can I just,
sooner rather than
this is
later.
the only time I'm going to toot my own horn. I spent 250 hours on this since the AGM. Now, we get 1 hour a day of Crosby time. How long at 1 hour a day is 250 hours? 6 months. So, and I have my cell phone all the time. You guys have seen me wandering around with loopers and all sorts of strange looking people and my cell phone. Now, it just wouldn't have been possible for her to do that. She has 8 other buildings. So that's why we have these companies, because trust me, I phone you, Harvey, you phone, and oh, you get my answering machine, so I phone you back, but you're in a meeting. Some of this has taken me a couple days to get through to people. So that's all I have to say about it.
That's kind of what my point is.
Yeah.
That if we're going to have to pay Crosby 4%.
Yes, that was already agreed on, yes.
What if we don't have Crosby when we do the roofs?
I
Don't
have,
even jump ship yet.
yeah.
Yes, we can do that. But I'm just asking.
Don't go there. We're talking about the roof.
Yeah, let's talk about the roof.
Let's talk about
But
Well, it's 4%.
Yeah.
You're going to pay them.
Every other company charges the same.
Harvey, all strata management companies charge,
No, they don't all charge that. No.
all the good ones do. It costs them money to process fees. They're over above the regular.
It's like Carrie said, this is because of all the hard work that the council did, and specifically Carrie. It's not savings that Crosby has put in our pockets. It's Carrie and all the hard work that you guys have been doing.
Thanks for your
As far as I'm concerned, Crosby has to be involved.
Yes.
Well, at this point, I believe it's in our best interest to stay with Crosby as well. The thing I recommend we do is we use Crosby really wisely. We ask them to do what we need them to do. Accounting is specifically, I'm not touching that hornet's nest. I'm sorry, I'm not. Both Sherilyn and I are already talking with Van City about doing group financing for anyone that, and we have an independent mortgage broker that's willing to come talk to us as well. So my thing in a lot is, let's keep Crosby where they are right now, but use them specifically and get better at using them specifically.
The
and get our money.
The property management company also fulfills another, a couple of other roles. They supervise the contract. They have the expertise to make sure that the contracts that take place between strata and contractors is valid, and they look at it for any loopholes or any issues from their end. And then, as Carrie mentioned, they also look at the finances. So there's 3 layers of approval on any invoice from the contractor. The first is the project supervisors, the second is the strata councils, and then the third is the property manager. So you need those layers of protection to ensure that everything